This is how you rekey a smart key doorknob, or at least a recent version of it. You're going to want a tool that looks like this. It's the kwikset rekey tool. Super useful. Take this end right here, and there's a little spring activated thing right here. Yeah, as you can see right there. You take that and you push this in, and it will release this part of it. I usually will set this to the center, right here, like that. See how it's mostly in the center right here? Makes it easier to pull out. So I might take a second here, put that little spring in. Let's see. Okay, push that little spring in, and then you basically push that spring in and pull this out. Let me do it off camera because I can't see what I'm doing here real quick. Set this in the center. And then once you push that little spring, like right there, that little tab right there pushes in. And if this is in the center, you can actually just pull this out. It might take a little, movement around to be able to pull it out, but then it just pushes out like this. Then you have access to inside there, which is where the other end of this tool comes in handy. You'll see this area right here. There's like a little metal piece blocking it. So you kind of have to go in diagonal and push. See how I push that metal piece in? There's that little right there, I'm touching it right there. If you go in diagonally, you just push that in like so. See how that metal piece gets pushed in a little bit? Make sure it's as center as possible. And then as long as you get it in there fairly center, you'll catch on the prongs toward the end for the lock itself. Hold on, gotta get this just right to make sure I don't bend them or anything. Hold on. There we go. And if you get it right, you'll know because it'll feel pretty easy to push down. So yeah, right there. And then you basically just, oh dang it, I accidentally turned it. But you basically push on this and it'll pop this end off. I'll pop this end off, see, like that. So I push that in there, it's almost dead center. There's two little prongs on the end of this. And once you push them, it'll pop this out. See right here? Here, I'll even show you a better way of how it works. So you got these two little prongs, right, that hold it in. You basically are trying to get it like this. So it'll line up, and when you push down, it pushes these in to be able to, unclasp it from the housing. Once that's done, you basically you can either use this end. I find it easier to use like a small blade or a very flat head to pull this little tab out. So you can actually release the internals of the lock there. So I'll pull this out. That's the little thing holding it in, and then this center piece just pushes out. So this is the actual chamber where all the pins are at that you'll use to rekey. I personally have this rekey tool for this, this style. There are a few different ones where this half piece comes apart, and those are a lot more difficult to redo than this tool here, because you have to line up the pins perfectly. Luckily, if you have this style, you basically take this tool, dump it in there, then you turn this to the line like that. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a line, and originally it started over here with the keyholes lined up. Once it's turned like this, you just push this little rekey tab there till it makes a sound. Then once you've pushed that right there with the little tool, you can take your key, double check I'm doing this the right way. Okay, yep, this is the right key. You take the key, push it in, pull the lock out, and if you can turn it, then you're good here. Yep, so boom, it is rekeyed. And then basically to reassemble it, you just put it in reverse order. And when you put this together, make sure these are lined up like this so that the lock is the same direction. So like so. Then you'll take this piece, pop it back on the end that holds it in, like that. See, like there, and it clips around there so it can't be pushed out. Once that's good, you'll figure out how this goes in to your door specifically. Sometimes they're like this, sometimes they're like this, depending on if you want your lock to be right side up or upside down. It will determine how you put this in. So honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember which direction it goes. Like this, I guess I could step out and take a look at the lock itself. But ultimately what you'll do is you'll just make sure this is like so, flat, and you'll push this in just like this. Pops back in, those two little tabs catch. Now it's back on, will come out. And you basically reassemble the same way you disassembled it. You take this part of it, put it back in, kind of like so. Then you take this tool. I mean, I think you can just push it in. I'm not 100% sure. I've always used the tool to push it back in because it's easier. So like that. And now your lock is fully reassembled. And you have rekeyed it to the new key. Double check this works since I've rekeyed it. Yep, so I can now lock it and unlock it. Boom, and we're done. It's currently locked. Now let's go the other direction. Now it's unlocked. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, I found these tools that comes with a whole set of like re-pin or whatever, the 5-pin steel, whatever, I can't remember what it's called on Home Depot's website, but it was like $15 and it helps to take these apart and rekey them. This tool here, I believe, is $50 just because of the nature of the tool. It's a little bit more expensive because it's proprietary for Kwikset. But yeah, these two tools will help you take apart these style door handles that have the Kwikset smart lock on them. And yeah, that's how you do it.